Hello, I'm trying to expand the screen. So the topic of today is understanding Asian skin with Ayurveda. And yeah, it's really interesting topic because I think everybody sees, like in the world, it's very like generalized perspective about things. And Ayurveda is a very personalized approach to individualized approach to health, to skin, and to aging. And that's the beauty of Ayurveda. Would you like to start, Sam? What would you like to say about the
Yeah, and
aging?
I think that was great how you just explained it because we're all aging. All of us are going through an aging journey, but actually, it's individual to us and it's individual to our constitution from an Ayurvedic perspective. So some of us will age with certain characteristics, and others will age with different characteristics, and that's why it's such a beautiful approach because Ayurveda tailors itself to support the individual aging journey depending on their constitution. So yeah, it's really wonderful to think about it like that. And I think the way that just for the basics of Ayurveda, so sort of at the very foundational level, the foundational principle is based on the concept of the five universal elements, as it is in Chinese medicine and many of the sort of ancient traditions focusing on the elements. And Ayurveda, the elements are space, air, water, earth, and fire. So there's five of them, and each one of us has all of the elements inside of us, but we all have a different proportion, a different percentage, and so that then leads quite nicely into the doshas. Did you want to explain what they were, Maria, and how it kind of ties together into the individualized approach from Ayurvedic perspective?
Yeah. So Ayurveda sees the human body and the world as well through doshas, through those five elements, and in the body, those five elements are made into three main doshas. The first one is Vata, and it's space and air. It's the most mobile, most unstable dosha. And the second one is Pitta. It's mainly made of fire and a little bit of water. And the third one is Kapha, and it's earth and water. It's the most stable, grounding, solid dosha. And depending on the prevalence of dosha, depending on your constitution and your prakriti, constitution is prakriti in Sanskrit, and your imbalance or vikriti, you will see a certain symptoms, certain like your skin will be a certain way, your body will be a certain way, and to find out, you can find out. We also have a quiz on our website on magicalmedicine.com, so you can find out your most dominant dosha as you age. And I really love that because it's such a personalized and a beautiful approach, which really helps you get in touch with yourself more. Like, not because what I found lately is I actually watched there's a lady on YouTube and she educates on face yoga. I can't remember her name, but I really loved her post, and she was saying about how she's not an influencer and she doesn't want to overshare about what she does about her skin health. And I felt like that's really a beautiful approach because there is a lot of damage when people unconsciously copy what other person does. And as good as it may be for them, it's not necessarily an approach to suit everybody. And nothing is, like, not a diet, not skincare, everything. It can be kind of universal, but still there will be personalizations through that. And it's really important to understand that and experiment and really take this through, like, don't take anything for granted. It doesn't matter how much you trust the person. It's always, you have to come from, with an approach of experimentation.
Yeah.
Okay, so this person has this background, and Ayurveda gives us a little, like, really great, solid foundation to understand ourselves and other people around us.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think what might be quite helpful for our viewers is maybe to discuss the three elements in a bit more detail, and how and then they can identify possibly what skin type they are, and we can then explain a little bit about how that might look as they go through their aging process, as they hit 50, 60, because what Maria's just shared is amazing, because you'll also notice as you're aging that some of your friends, like say for example going through menopause, some of your friends may have been experiencing lots of hot flushes, whereas you didn't, and you were getting more brain fog. And like people are having different symptoms, and it is actually down to your constitution and how much fire you've got in your system, and what the imbalances are, like Maria mentioned. So it's actually super useful to find out a little bit more about the doshas, I think.
Yeah. So if we talk about, I mean, obviously here we're concentrating on skin and skin health, because it does go much deeper than that. But my general observation is that in Europe, most people are Pitta dosha predominant, and Pitta dosha predominance is can manifest as predisposition to early wrinkles, because the Pitta people have this lovely, beautiful, white, kind of thin skin, which is predisposed to damage from sun exposure, and it is predisposed to sensitivities. It can also be predisposed to acne or breakouts, like that. I'm just describing myself now. Have all that, and it can be very intolerant, the skin, and also anything harsh on the skin can kind of basically strip it out and aggravate. And when you have, like, for example, you start with the breakouts and you start using something harsh, and then it basically is a downward spiral, because it actually makes your pitta flare up even more and makes symptoms more visible as well.
Yeah.
So the Pitta people are quite predisposed to acne and breakouts, and they're also predisposed to early premature signs of aging, if not taking care of the skin well.
Grey hair is one of them, isn't it? It's quite common, like early grey hair for Pitta.
And baldness for men. So this is like typical signs of aging that relates to skin and hair in Pitta constitution, Pitta predominant Prakriti people. And what else? I think Pitta people, they can have freckles, and they often have like different types of moles or like birthmarks. They're not discoloration or melasma or hyperpigmentation. It's actually just birthmarks and moles, like I have a lot of different type of like spots, like type of it's more like birthmarks and moles.
Yeah.
Anything
freckles,
else.
like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, and freckles. So these people can have like either very, like I do, like very fair constitution, like with fair skin and light hair, or they can also have more fire in them. So the fire element is predominant. They will be like this Viking type of people, like, can have like this beautiful ginger hair, and
red
also
hair and sharp blue eyes. Yeah.
yes, also very beautiful, and have this again very thin and very sensitive skin, which can be burned easily in the sun. And do you want to add anything about that, Sam?
Well, I think you've covered it really nicely. And the other characteristic of Pitta dosha, in terms of like the body, is that their muscular structure. Pitta people tend to have quite well-formed muscular frame, like a medium build, and so they may notice early on, as the aging process happens, that they start to lose their muscle mass, it might impact them more so. There might be more of a realization because they're used to having defined muscle, and as we know, it starts to go when the estrogen levels drop. So that would also maybe be something that people might notice quite quickly as they kind of get to a certain time in life. But yeah, I think you covered Pitta really well. So I'm also Pitta, but Vata as well. So Vata Pitta, I think, for me. And what I would say the characteristics for the Vata type skin as we're aging is, and also the other important thing to mention here is, as we talked about the doshas, we're born with a certain constitution and that stays with us for life, and we drift away slightly as you know through our lifestyle choices, imbalances, into an imbalanced state. But then everybody, when they get to a certain time of life, moves towards the Vata stage of life. So as we're born, it's Kapha stage of life where we're very, everything is, we're growing and there's lots of immunity and ojas they call it, and then we go into Pitta, which is our midlife, and then we move into Vata. So Vata people in Vata time of life will notice a lot of drying qualities. So they will probably have drier skin, let's say, than our Pitta and Kapha friends. They will notice, when they have their wrinkles, there's quite a lot of wrinkles on a Vata person's face, like quite deep wrinkles. And discolorations, they may have more like dark spots and things coming up. And the thinning of the hair, very brittle nails and brittle hair as well. And maybe they might notice as well with their teeth, because Vata is kind of connected to bones and skeletal system. They may notice that their teeth are maybe discoloring and very sensitive and maybe even breaking. So they're kind of some of the key things. What else for Vata, Maria?
Yeah, I think you've covered it quite well. So with the Vata people are the predominant Vata type of people are like darker skin types. Like for example, in Africa, many people are mainly Vata. Also, they're so beautiful and but they're just like a different, slightly different approach to skincare. Like if you're sorry about that, a Vata predominant constitution, you may, as you said, like be predisposed to this dryness, and also in it can you can be predisposed to melasma and discoloration, and so in Pitta people it will be more birthmarks and moles, while in Vata constitution and also Vata imbalance, you will see mainly in Vata imbalance, because in general, if it's a Vata constitution, then you just will you will be your skin will tan easier. So it's actually very beautiful. Those people tan so easily, and it's so nice. While like me as a Pitta skin, I just go red like a crapstick, and then nothing happens. But then Vata people, they get this lovely, lovely tan. But if it goes into imbalance or with aging, they start having this discolorations like melasma or hyperpigmentations. They can have like this awkward spots here and there, like brown or some kind of unevenness there on the skin.
Yeah.
Uneven skin, and also like this small, as you said, like small threads of wrinkles can be all over the face as well. Like the dryness is the main culprit here. So I think what you said about aging and doshas is to understand that everybody has prakriti, a constitution. It's two doshas at once, and they can enter into an imbalance through some kind of diet or lifestyle problem. But then all of us age, so it's normal. As you said, there is kapha stage of life where we grow from babies into teenagers into young adults. That's growth, and we all grow. Then there's pitta stage of life, and it's like more preserving, yeah. So Pitta is the preserver, this fire. So where we enter into the adulthood, and that adulthood lasts from early adult, like 20, 21, and then goes until about 50, where we start to see Vata overtaking slowly. So 50, 60, there's like a exchange from Vata, from Pitta to Vata main stage, and then after 50, 60, that's the Vata dominant stage, and Vata is like a destroyer. So we slowly disintegrate. It's just it's normal. Everybody is mortal, and Vata is just is that dosha which kind of probably, and that's for everybody. So if your constitution is unique to you, then this process of kapha in childhood, pitta in adult life, and vata end stage of life, or like older years after 60, then that's for everybody. That's just a normal stage. So after 60, everybody is vata is predominant stage of life, so that everybody will have that, but
Yeah.
also everybody will have their own unique constitution. So for
Yeah.
me, when I enter vata stage, I will still have my pitta, but vata as well, and will be the
Yeah.
predominant stage and will also accelerate. So I will need to really take very good care to control and pacify that vata, to have as little problems as possible
Yeah.
associated with aging. Well, it's not really aging, it's not healthy aging, but like problems of aging.
Yeah. Because Vata is the problem maker, really. That's what we're saying. Vata in this particular conversation, Vata is potentially stirring up the imbalances as you enter, and Vata is like fast moving and accelerates everything. So it's and I know we're not discussing that today, really, but really what we do here at Magical Medicine and with the services that we offer and the Ayurveda and even with the products, we are pacifying Vata as our number one goal by, rejuvenating, doing as many rejuvenating activities as possible in terms of balanced lifestyle choices, products we're using. And I think the other thing with managing Vata, and it shows in the skin, is, and I wanted to just mention this, although it's not necessarily skin, is Vata is also a bit of a disruptor when it comes to digestion. And as we get into those Vata stages of life, especially if we've been like, if we're Pitta, and we've always had, generally Pittas have very strong digestion, very regular, steady digestion. And so you may notice that, your appetite is up and down and your bowel movements are maybe not so regular. And obviously a healthy digestion, we believe here at Magical Medicine, is the secret to healthy skin. Like if you've got healthy digestion and good digestion, then your skin, you're kind of glowing from the inside out. So managing that also has a big effect on how we age, how we look as we're aging, how our skin looks, how it feels. And then we must talk about the beautiful kapha dosha, because we haven't mentioned that yet. And I
Yeah,
think
lucky
everybody's
like
jealous.
kapha.
Everybody's jealous of kapha skin. Oh my goodness, isn't it just so gorgeous?
It's beautiful, yeah. So kaphas are, if we talk about the location, so it's I would say Asian people, they have a lot of kapha. They've got this really plum skin, and really gorgeous. They stay young so long. Like you look at them, and I mean, here is really important to say how helpful Ayurveda really is, because when you look at somebody and you look, and they are given to you as an example, and then also the tools are given to you, like, okay, so because for them as a kapha, for Asian people, they do a lot of lymphatic drainage, for example, and it's not really suitable for everybody. It's not really good for kapha, for vata, or it's okay for pitta and vata, but you have to be a bit cautious, because there is a sorry, it's my guinea pigs. They're having a play there. Yeah, so they are more have like more thinner faces, and the fatty layer is thinner, so you can actually damage it with overdoing on lymphatic drainage.
This
That's
is
why
for
I said
Vata. Are you talking about Vata, not Kapha here?
I just again I diverted back to like when how helpful it is to understand these different types, because
Yeah.
if you understand them, if you understand your own constitution, if you understand what other people are, when somebody advises you, because there are so many people now like influencers, and they say you have to do this, and you know this, like I've done this so everybody can do that, and yes, it worked for them, and yes, it can be a very useful technique what they're teaching. I'm not, it
Yeah.
often there are really helpful and interesting techniques that people are teaching, but you have to really come from what you are, from what dosha you are, what constitution you are, where you currently are, because it can be actually very damaging. And there was a lot of damage where the kapha, the techniques for kapha skin were introduced to everybody, and actually like it was having really negative impact on other people. So back to beautiful kapha. After discussing that, is a lot of Asian people have this type of skin, and this skin is really like predisposed to oiliness. So young people often have this oiliness in them, and the kapha people are lucky because the signs of the negative signs of aging is really like showing late in them. Their skin, you might not see any real wrinkles in them until the even like late 40s,
Yeah.
50s. That lucky.
Because the qualities of kapha, just to mention, just to jump in just for a sec, Maria, the reason
So
you say that is because we talked about the elements at the beginning of the conversation and which elements were sitting inside each dosha. So the Vata dosha, which is as we're progressing, we're aging, we're moving into the Vata time of life, that is space and air. So it's very mobile, you know, it's very light, brittle, cold. Kapha, on the other hand, is the total opposite. So Kapha is, you know, earth and water, and it's dense and it's heavy and it's, you know, so that's why Maria says that. It's like there's a slower, in a way, a slower entry into Vata because they are the opposite.
exactly. I mean, like that's really. I really loved how you put it, and it's exactly the right time about that. Yes. So as kaphas enter into this vata stage, it's much slower in them because they have the exact opposite dosha, exact opposite elements, and then you know, like so, all the symptoms of vata are seen also with delay in them, but they do have their own problems. So muscles are really well developed, so this structure is holding there, but they may be predisposed to water retention. It's like a lot of water in this dosha, and with age there can be also like the like gravitation downwards. So like if there is a lot of puffiness, then they can be also like sagging. They can see
Yeah,
more
like a lot
sagging.
of brown hair and yeah.
Yeah, rather because there's like it's excess, like this muscles, and if there is excess water, then there will at some point the muscles are not supporting it. It just like starts to gravitate downwards, and these are the problems of kapha rather than like a thread of wrinkles as seen in vata people. But they will also kapha people will also see problems of aging, and they will also have wrinkles. It's just like it's delayed because it's um, opposed. Like you know, they're very oily skin, so the dryness manifests in them much later.
Yeah.
They have this fair complexion. Normally, is like yeah, fair skin, very thick, gorgeous hair.
Beautiful hair. Yeah, beautiful, thick, wavy hair. It's much to be yeah, I
Jealous
was
of.
look at, yeah, jealous of. I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, absolutely. And also because Maria just mentioned there about predispositions of kapha, they can also get quite congested, can't they, in their skin? Because they're kind of, the thing with kapha, if you imagine it's like, so it's a bit like mud, you know. I'm not saying the kapha's, you know, but that's the kind of thing. And so everything's a little bit slower with Kapha, so they have a slower digestion. So as their metabolism is slowing down with age, which is like a really a natural thing that happens as you go into Vata, then Kaphas can tend to have slow digestion, easy weight gain, and congestion. So they can get like, quite congested because their skin's quite oily. So yeah, there are certain techniques, aren't there, in skincare as you age for Kaphas that would not suit, as you said, Vatas or Pittas.
Yeah, I think especially that lymphatic drainage, which is amazing for kaphas, is really great. And if you think about that, the majority of lymphatic drainage techniques are stemming from the Asian cultures because that's really needed for them. But as good as it can be also for vatas and pittas, we have to be a bit more cautious because, especially as pitta people, mainly predominant in Europe, Peter people. Also, we are so determined and we like to take, okay, so that works and I will do it now 3 times a day, every day, and then they
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
This like stubborn and very purposeful, which is a good quality, but in excess, it does lead to problems because as Peter people, many Europeans face this, okay, so I will do this, I will only eat this, I will only do this, and then that actually creates more harm than good.
Yeah. So like to summarize it, I think what's quite a nice way to, so if you think Kapha, if you imagine Kapha's like slow and heavy and needs a bit of a shake up almost. So that's why lymphatic drainage is so great, and dry brushing and moving the body quite vigorously, even as you're aging for Kapha is great to get everything going and keep your skin and your body feeling healthy. Whereas Vata is already very mobile, so it's a bit here and it's a bit there, and as we age we can become more forgetful, and so Vata is all about soothing and actually slowing Vata down. So it's more, instead of like the dry brushing, Vata is more like oil massage and like pacifying and keeping everything calm. Whereas Kapha is like, right, let's shake it up, let's get going. They're complete opposites. And then
Yeah,
Pitta, what would we do for Pitta? I guess Pitta kind of sits in the middle, doesn't it? Like Pitta's very much in the mind. So like Maria just said, the Pitta person will want to do all of it. And it's just like recognizing that in themselves so they don't, overdo it. Too much product on the face, too much exercise, too much of this, and then have a burnout.
yeah, and also I think Pitta people, because they both Pitta and Vata, but especially Pitta, they are because they are so stubborn and so determined. They're Type A personalities often. They tend to overdo everything, and then they tend to overdo skincare as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and skin is so sensitive, so predisposed to this premature aging. Actually, they need to step down, and that's what I've done to my skin. And I had a horrible acne, and I was actually aggravating it through doing more and more and more and more, and it led to actually really premature aging. I've seen it in my early 20s already, and like first wrinkles, and
Yeah.
before that even. That's really was due to my overthinking and my like really overdoing on the face.
Yeah, I think what becomes apparent as you're speaking is Pittas can be Pitta type people can they'll be the ones that are doing the 10-step rigorous skincare routine, for example, and they'll be doing it without much compassion for themselves. They'll be doing it because it's on a to-do list and they're going to get that thing done, and they're going to do it because they're perfectionists, and they're not stopping because they're also super busy to actually have a look at what's happening to their skin as they're doing it, because they've been told, like we said, people are telling you from every single angle, do this, try this, do that. It's just like overwhelming. So Pittas will try it all, and they will try and do it all, and their skin, if you remember, we said at the beginning, their skin is thin and it's sensitive and it's prone to early signs of aging, and if they're not stopping to really have a look at what's happening with compassion. So it's not a case of looking at what's happening and adding more product. It's looking at what's happening and then making a decision to allow your body, which is this amazing machine, that to rebalance itself, and because our bodies have an innate ability to heal, they don't necessarily need loads and loads of product. What they need is time to heal. So I think that's quite an important thing to say, and I know that our company philosophy is very much into that, like less is more, which is why, because our product is targeted to mature skin, we have just put rejuvenating, super nourishing ingredients into the products that have been Resigners. Yeah, do you want to just talk about resigners quickly, Maria? Because it might be useful for people who haven't heard that word before, because it's amazing, the resigner side of Ayurveda.
Yeah, I think maybe we just have because I'm easily like I can go like really too deep.
You can do a whole thing on that. Yeah, just a quick overview, maybe.
Yeah, so because I think we'll do a whole talk about rasayanas, and we may also do a whole talk about rasadhatu and nourishing rasadhatu, how it relates to skin. It's actually also a very, very interesting concept from Ayurveda, and it really really help people understand their skin better. But we start like talking about that now, it will be a very long conversation. So rasayanas are basically rejuvenators, and they are these herbs which give you your youth back. In a sense, we are pro-aging, and we really want to support our body, and everybody will age, that's normal. But by meaning youth back, it's just meaning your health back. So you will be completely healthy as you age. And that's the role of this rasayanas. They're rejuvenating the body. And this entire procedure where you actually have to go, it's called panchakarma, where you actually first cleanse your body properly. And after that, when the body is clean, and we also do that, we'll talk one day about our detox programs. That's what they are there for. So we cleanse the body, and then we can guide you to rejuvenation, because the rejuvenation doesn't work as well if you don't do the cleansing first. And so I think talking about our range, and I think it's interesting that there are only 2 products, and then we are talking about 3 different doshas, and here and this and that, and we only developed 2 products. So I think it's interesting to cover that, and I would like to say that even though we only have 2 products, because everybody enters this Vata stage of life, everybody needs nourishment. But before nourishment, it's again, like, I think it like really flows nicely from this topic of rasayanas, because you have to cleanse and then rejuvenate. So that's what we do. We developed a cleanser, which I used for years, and I absolutely swear by it. And that was developed on the formula which I use for like over 10 years already. And this cleanser is customizable. It's a powder cleanser, it's waterless, so it doesn't have to have any harmful ingredients, any toxins. It's so easy to travel with. It's such a beautiful product, which also doubles as a mask. And then you can adjust it to your skin's particular needs. And I think Sam can nicely speak about that.
Yeah, I mean, I love it for that reason, because you can become like an alchemist for your skin. It's just fun. So depending on, it depends on the season, and we're not going to really go into that right now, but our bodies also, because we're connected to the elements, as the seasons change, our body has different needs. And so Ayurveda lifestyle and practices really kind of work with the seasons. So depending on the season, depending on what time of life you're at, you can mix with a liquid of your choice and, become, like I say, like an alchemist. And so at the moment for me, with my skin at 50 and it being summertime, I am using cooling pitta pacifying, because pitta is the dosha of summer, and so I'm using pitta pacifying liquids in my skin masks. I'm doing a daily cleanser with water mostly, actually, because it's just quick and easy for me, and then I'm doing a twice weekly, if not more sometimes, mask, which I just leave on for 5 minutes as I'm running around doing other things, and I'm using aloe vera because it's so nourishing and cooling, and also rose water. I find this time of year is just so great for my skin. Whereas if you were kapha, then you would be mixing it maybe with something else, and if you're particularly dry and dehydrated, you would mix it with oil or something else. And we've got recipes provided with the products. So that's how we are individualizing our skincare. And like Maria said, it is the cleanse before the Rasina.
Yes, and
Rasina
our
is our oil.
oil is,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, everybody has this different skin type, but our oil is needed for all skins. So as they say in Ayurveda, and I mention that every time, even an old branch of tree is getting rejuvenated with oil. So in the same way, the body is rejuvenated with oil. And entire Ayurveda is based on this concept where you cleanse your body and then you oilate it. And the results are absolutely stunning through this panchakarma procedures. So, but this one is a daily dose of rasayana. And obviously, if you look at the doshas, then vatas would need more because their skin is predisposed um, to really dryness and small threads of wrinkles. So they would need more oil on the skin. They just cleanse gently and then they use more oil. Pitta people, they really need that cleansing because they kind of they can have flare-ups and they really need to, as you said, like aloe vera, rose water, because they need to cool that. They can be predisposed to rosacea, to redness, like to patches all over the skin, like especially like the flare-ups the skin plays up. And so if they cool the skin through alchemizing the cleanser, and then again they can use the oil beautifully. And kaphas, they will need less oil because their skin is naturally oily, but anyways, as it goes into the vata stage of life, they will also, it's really good for them to cleanse really gently, nicely cleanse it. Just water cleanse is fine for them. um, Cleansing it with milk also, especially with age, it just really benefits their fair skin. Cleansing with milk, if the skin is like too congested, they can also use a little bit of lemon. And there are different recipes, as we said. And then they just use a bit less of oil. And the techniques then, it's the techniques that you use along that. The products can be same. It's not what you use, it's how you use it. And that's where the alchemizing comes, and that's where the playfulness comes. So what I love about our product is that you don't need to have like a shelf full, what I used to have, like this, like complete, like my bathroom shelf had so many different like potions and this and that, and I didn't really know what to use. And now I just have these two products. I use them, and my daughters use them. I know how natural they are. They're completely fine. So I I'm not concerned what they're putting on their skin because I know it's really nourishing them, and that's all. And cleansing especially for the teenage skin, it's also great. And then the techniques you use. So for Kapha people, as I said, like lymphatic drainage is amazing technique. For Pitta people, they really need to work on the muscles. So they need to do facial exercises a little bit more. And for Vata people, they need to moisturize really, really, really well. So you don't really need many, many products. And I think another distinctive quality of our products is they are infused with energy, which makes them very, very special. Do you want to talk about them?
Yeah, of course. I love talking about the energy infusion because it's made such a difference. So we are pranic healers, energy healers, and we noticed when we were working with our clients in our healing practices, with the products that we were making, the remedies that we were making, that when we infused the remedies with our pranic healing energy techniques, our patients just saw tremendous results. They saw results faster, and they really noticed a difference very quickly. And so Maria and I were like, well, what if we put it into the product? Let's do that. And so we experimented with it, and that's what we're doing. We're infusing our products with life force energy. And so our products are not only from an Ayurvedic formulation perspective amazing resigners, they are also awakening your skin's natural intelligence, because they are infused with pranic healing energy. And I think that's what really sets them apart. They're not a dead product. They're not a lab made product. They are made by us. They're made with healing energy put into it. And so those products, when used on your skin, they awaken your skin's ability to heal itself. They're obviously, pranic energy is its own intelligence. It's from source, so it's source energy. It's got its own intelligence. It's got its own agenda. It knows where to go. And so, yeah, I mean, people are really noticing a massive difference with this infusion technique. So yeah, so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, I love how you talk about that. And I think because for us, health is foundation of beauty, and it's not about uh, looking younger, or when, looking not looking your age. It's really about the skin health. So that's the key. And I really noticed such like it's really great improvement in skin health. So skin becomes healthier with each use, both through the rasayanas, through this oil which penetrates so deeply and feeds, nourishes the skin, but also, as Sam said, that the skin is nourished not only on the physical but also on an energetic level, giving you this beautiful, like, it awakens skin's natural intelligence, gives the skin this beautiful glow, and expands your aura so the body knows what it needs to heal. All the holistic healing modalities, it's mainly about reaccessing that wisdom of the body and allowing the space to heal.
Yeah.
Because holistic doctor, we are not, we are information and education providers, but you are your own healer, so we can teach you what to do. You still need to go through it yourself. So
Yeah.
you are your own healer.
It's very empowering. Great.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. And if you have any questions to post down below, would love to do other lives as well. The next one's about Ayurveda, so we'll be looking forward to questions. Okay, bye.